me get into it. So if you can see my screen, as always, please Google Wiki Linktree, all the stuff that we do, our social media, our Discord community, it's all free, by the way. A try score odds comparison tool for NRL try scorers, AFL goal scorers, and disposals, and NBA stats and player props odds comparison tool as well. So we've got 3 of those and a bunch of other stuff. I won't go through it all because I do that every week, but you'll find stuff right there. We've also got stuff just to help you out with your punting. So we've got an article that explains the odds comparison tool. We explain what Wiki Premium is, a few other things, a whole bunch of resources. This NRL round 10, again, I've been sick and potentially a little bit dusty today, so I haven't done one of the shit bits of news, guys. Sorry, the Punter's preview article and the Edge v Edge article that I started doing last week. I'm going to do that tomorrow morning with the podcast and a whole bunch of stuff that we're doing. I'm just too busy right now. I'm honestly pretty exhausted. So tomorrow morning, we'll have the Punter's preview article out this week. But as always, from next week onwards, we'll be on to our normal schedule. And the odds comparison tool is live. And this podcast is obviously live. And it'll be up in an hour or two if you want to listen if you want to listen to it or watch it later. But yep, that's it. Enough of the spiel. Google Wiki Linktree. All that stuff is free. Join our Discord. We just crossed 4,000 people. That's probably it. Let us get into it. Where are we? Oops, sorry. 1 second. There we go. All right, cool. Just before I get into the games, very quickly, so the try map. I know last week, SuperCoach Guns, who does the try map, he was busy. He wasn't able to do it. A lot of you were asking, where's the try map? Where's the try map? It is out for round 10, which is this round. SuperCoach Guns. If you follow him on Twitter, on Insta, you'll always find it as soon as he posts it. I'll post it up as well, but obviously I want to help him out. And yeah, if you follow him directly, you can get his stuff there. NRL Fantasy Scout, which is his name on Discord, young Sinatra on our Discord. He runs that Instagram, I think, with a couple of mates. Obviously follow them directly. You can find some really good quality NRL fantasy content. And shout out to Kyle on our Discord, who runs the player performance tips premium stuff that he does himself, but he's obviously on our channel and he helps us out with NRL fantasy content as well. So thanks to the guys who are collabing with for the season. Also, I'm in talks NRL SuperCoach. I've been doing collab video content with him, and honestly, I'm pretty tired right now, so I can't remember everything else. But we do a whole bunch of stuff for NRL Fantasy, SuperCoach, punting. It's all there in the one place. 606. I've fluffed on for more than enough time. So as usual, guys, I'm going to get I say straight into it, but it's like 5 minutes in. I'm now going to go through game by game and just have a quick look at the players and talk through some of the juicy odds that pop up, and also just talk through like my general read of the games while I do that. As always, I lock in my picks when I write the article. So yeah, these aren't official picks that I'm putting out there, but I do talk about the good prices that are there. Tyson Gamble, I remember, was one of them that I spoke about on the podcast last week, and obviously that was the big winner in our free article. So let's get straight into NRL round 10. NRL round 10 was Magic Round last year, and we picked 5 huge odds winners. And that's the week that we broke TAB's try scorer pricing model. If you guys were around with Wicky, we literally hit so many winners at such good prices and then went viral on TikTok and stuff for a few weeks in a row. And it all came to a head in Magic Round. And TAB literally just went nuts and changed the whole try scorer pricing model. It sucks because we stopped getting those amazing prices, but it's a pretty cool achievement that we kind of like. Obviously, I didn't do that myself. I would have put like 20, 30, 40 bucks or whatever it does on try scorers, but we all did that together. We got in there, smashed the bookies, and forced them to change their prices, which is a pretty cool achievement. So hopefully round 10 this year is just as good as it was last year for us. Yeah, let's get into round 10. Get into the first game, guys. It is the Dolphins v Manly. I will say, if you live in Sydney, you can see that it's dark, it's wet, it's miserable. That's beautiful for me. I want there to be more and more and more rain, because that means more middle forward tries. And if you see a few picks on our article, the Premium Boys and I, we go hard, and a lot of it is on middle forwards. So if we do well in the article, it probably means that the Premium Boys have done really well. And one thing I forgot to say, the one main bloody thing I was meant to cover off. So the premium stuff, it's really good value, and we've done really well over a long period of time. But we had 6 weeks of some bad luck and whatever. value doesn't always pay off, right? Anyway, so before last round, we're sitting at minus 28%, which sounds horrible. One good week, and I'm not going to say it was amazing, but good week. We hit Daniel Saifidi and Gamble, and we're already at minus 18%. So we've gone up 10% positive in 1 week. Hopefully, we get a bumper week this week, and we're close to break even. And I'm sure we're going to smash it throughout the origin period. All right, enough fluff, guys. For someone who is a bit dusty, I'm already talking too much. So for the first game, Dolphins v Manly, one of the only games this weekend that's not going to be heavily rain affected, most likely. I look at the anytime try scorer prices. Ewan Aitken, $5.10, looks all right on Sportsbet. Dabble's got Garrick at $2.85, which seems like a pretty good price as well. Our models got him at around $2.35. And yeah, like he seems a pretty clear, decent price. And Waddell, he's looked pretty good this season. He's $5.70 on Sportsbet. Sorry guys. First try scorer wise, where are we? If you like Sabi on the right wing, he's paying $10 on BetRight, and so is Asako. BetRight's got some pretty good prices for first try scorer. Now that I didn't even see these before. So Katoa at 41 on BetRight is another pretty juicy one as well. Looking at market value, so you got so we added this, by the way, guys. So you can look at just starters. So if you look at first try scorer markets on our free, this is the free one, right? Yeah, the free odds comparison tool. You can see that you can just pick starters only when you're looking at specific games, and that way it doesn't show benchies for first try scorer. So, BetR's got a couple of decent prices, including Waddell at 34s, which stands out. And where are we? In terms of the middles, so this game is up in, like, it's a Dolphins home game, so Redcliffe, I believe. And it might rain a little bit, or maybe it's at Suncorp, one of the two. I don't think it's meant to be raining a lot there. Paseka 61s is decent. I would actually love to hit Aloi. So he's 58 on Top Sport. And yeah, Nichols at 51s. You guys know, like, I think I've personally won huge money off Nichols 4 different times. And I think 3 of those have been when I've tipped it. I think we hit him once in 2022, I'm going to say. I tipped him at 101s early to mid 2022, I think it was. I've definitely tipped him once last year, and I've definitely tipped him once this year. Anyways, long story short, love Mark Nichols. He's won a lot of money for me and us over the years. And they're 51s with, I'd say it every week, Marshall King is a great hooker for putting middle forwards over. Yeah, and I love all things Mark Nichols. So he's 51s on 365 double and BetR, by the way. He did get benched, the bloody prick, last week. So hopefully that doesn't happen again. But yeah, definitely like that price as we stand at the moment. So I'm going to move on, guys, partially because I'm crook and dusty, partially because there's a lot of, so it starts from this game actually. So there's 2 games in Sydney on Friday and I think 2 on Saturday. And the rain is, look, forecast can change, but it's already been raining all week. And I think Friday and Saturday are meant to be like the 2 main days for the rain. So I'm, as I said, hoping the rain comes, means more like the game's playing more in the middle of the field, better chances for our middle forwards to hit at big odds. That's how Wicky works generally. So yeah, if you're obviously on our tips, and this is not the week, by the way, please God stay away from people who put winger multis on. Generally, that is a horrible thing to do. You are literally putting money down the gutter. I've said it about 1,700 times in the last couple of years here. I don't know why people keep doing it. You're literally getting one bad bit of, like, one player at shit value and you're multiplying it to make horrible value. Said that multiple times. People still keep doing it because they think it's fun. That's cool. Do whatever you want. But please, God, don't do it when it's fucking raining. If you saw the footy on Sunday, both games were played at stadiums that were like Sharp Park was like semi-flooding in the morning or whatever. And Newcastle was like really strong rain and a heavy track. There was 8 tries across 2 games, which is perfect for me because I fucking called it. I said it's fucking raining. Don't bet on wingers and backs, etc. 8 tries scored in 2 games. 5 of them were middle forwards. And your boy Mulatalo, Katoa, neither of them scored. What was the other game? DWZ, he did come close, to be fair, but he didn't score either. So yeah, just do not put winger multis when it's fucking belting down rain and it's a heavy track. Horrible thing to do. If you have like one winger and you really like him and you're putting a first try score bet on him and stuff, I get that, and that's okay. Because look, it doesn't mean that it's impossible to have winger tries, but when you put multis on, it is horrible value and you're pissing away your money, especially winger multis in the fucking rain. I'll stop there. It pisses me off. But anyways, all right. Panthers dogs. So I don't understand why the line's so big for this game. There's meant to be like 20 to 30 millimeters of rain for this game. It's a lot of the dogs players used to play for the Panthers, and they've actually been playing quite well. Obviously, the Panthers are a gun outfit. They're putting most teams away, and they should win. I just don't get why this dogs team looks like it's like the perfect recipe for maybe not an upset, but at least like a Panthers 1-12 kind of game. And I absolutely love the high odds try scorers for this one. So the premium boys got these guys at noticeably higher odds yesterday, but someone like a Josh Curran at 81 is a decent price. He scored an awesome try last week, actually, up against Tigers, where God who kicked it, but there was a kick and he chased it and then just like got his left hand on the ball. And like he was sprinting, beat other Tigers players, and literally balls like close to the ground, and he plants it with his left hand, like one-handed, just score a try. Like, pretty impressive for a bloody middle forward. So, anyways, like him for 81s, FTS, LTS. Drew Hutchison, I wouldn't say he's like the strongest first grade player, but he's a strong runner of the ball. He doesn't always do it, but he got a left foot step, and pretty impressive ball runner generally. And I think, when he does choose to run, you just need like one try to go your way with first try score market. So that's why I like the juicy first try bets for the outsider in a rain effect game. Absolute gold. Absolutely love that. Read money at 67 is another example of someone that I'll probably look at later. All right, Eels Broncos, same thing, guys. Game's being played in Parramatta. Both teams are missing their couple of key guys. So Broncos are missing Adam Reynolds, and Jesse Arthurs, I guess, isn't a key player, but he's an outside back. I think there's one more maybe missing. And the Eels are obviously missing Moses, but they're also missing Gutho. So this should be actually an interesting game as well. I think it will be hard for the Eels with no Moses and no Gutho. But I think, again, going to be played in like on a heavy track with a lot of rain probably throughout the game as well. I think another one where, you don't want to think, Broncos, Reece Walsh and stuff like that. Yeah, okay, fine. He might actually end up scoring. But what I'm saying is, like, keep an open mind with this game. It's in Parramatta, so it's an away game for the Broncos. Broncos are missing Adam Reynolds, and Para, they do have a really strong pack that I think can actually rival the Broncos. I don't think it'll be one-way traffic, so just look out for that. Price-wise, 365 has Wicky 29s. I think he scored the first try last week. Obviously, Reynolds is missing, and they've got a rookie in the halves, but decent price for sure. And aside from that, let's have a look at the high odds stuff. So if Junior Paulo starts, I like the 71s on BetRight and TopSport, but all year the coach has been mucking around with that and not naming him, or like naming him to start and then benching him. Tech wise, guys, I hope. Oops, sorry. Tech wise, I hope that. Sorry, not tech wise. Team wise, I hope that it stays that way. And if he does, I do like that. RCG, Campbell Gillard around 67s, decent as well. I'm hoping he kind of creeps up towards 81s. But as I said, I'm not even going to look at any time try scorers for the Panthers game and for the Eels game. It should be on like a track that's going to rain all week and raining throughout the game. So, next game, Tigers Newcastle. This game's in Tamworth, I think, where it's also meant to be raining. I'm pretty sure that's right. So where are we? These prices are crap. God damn it. Okay. So Jacob Saifiti's back. Daniel Saifiti, he scored a try for us and won us to bet at 71 and 29, I think it was. So literally 100 to 1 between those two, with the same try at the end of the game, which is gold. So thank you, Daniel Saifiti. If Jacob gets benched last minute, I'm just a little bit nervous with the team change, so I don't want to talk about him. Big boy Stefano is paying 41s. It was honestly a little bit short. But if Uppy's back for sure, and he has been named from memory, Yeah, he has been there. So if Uppy's back, he's great at putting middle forwards over. He had like a perfect soft pass to put Stefano over for the second try a couple of weeks ago. But yeah, if Uppy's back, I actually still would maybe tip Stefano, even if he's only 41s. But I'd love to see a 51s or even a 46s come game day. But yeah, hard to read too much into this game, to be honest, because with Tigers and Knights, the Tigers are missing Caesar. They're missing one or two other players, and the Knights are obviously missing Kalen Ponga. So yeah, a bit of an awkward game, to be honest, between two teams who honestly don't have a lot to play for this season. With the Knights with no Ponga, I just don't see them making the 8. But anyways, Dragons Rabbitohs. So this game's really really interesting. So I think like the media has just like everyone's so overwhelmed with the Rabbitohs sacked their coach and they're shit. They're going to be shit forever, etc. etc. Someone is sending me a request to be in your live video. I don't know what that means, but I'm not so good with Instagram, so sorry, mate. I'm not going to accept that. I don't know what that means. Anyways, yeah. So, anyways, long story short, the Dragons have had a couple of what do they do? They competed well against the Sharks in the wet. They lost 20-10. So yeah, they did compete with a very good team in the wet, and this game is likely to be in the wet again. But I just don't like it's pretty much a 50-50 game. Latrell Mitchell's back, Cody Walker, Jack Wyden, their forward pack's got a few decent players. Like you do know that generally, like I don't know. I just don't understand why everyone just like with it's like something with NRL people and the media and stuff. It's like if something is happening, it's always going to happen. Oh, the Rabbitohs have failed to cover the line for X amount of week or 15 weeks or whatever. Oh, like they sacked their coach. It doesn't mean that they're going to be shit forever. You know, you got Latrell back, you got Cody Walker, you got Damien Cook, you got Arrow, Tom Burgess, etc. in the forward pack. Like they should be fine. The Dragons are also a decent team on paper, not the best team, but they've been showing some decent character. So game in the wet, pretty much 50-50. So I will be looking to hit some high odds try scorers, and I'll be hoping to see better odds than we are now. But like someone like a Davi Mawale, for example, he's already scored a try this year. I loved him from his games for Cook Islands. I think he scored a first try second half for me. Don't know if I tipped that, but at some point, Davi Mawale has won me some money for Cook Islands, maybe the last try, whatever it was. But yeah, look out for him for sure. Aside from that, there's probably not any super enticing options. Another one in the wet could potentially be hookers, by the way. So if you get like a lot of sets near the opposition try line and it's like wet, you kind of like don't like it's kind of hard to spread the ball. If you guys watch the Warriors game, they kept trying to get their like normal play out to DWZ and he kept like not having enough space. It was like awkward because of the wet and the heavy track. So yeah, hookers could be another one where it's like, you know, you try a couple of sets in a row and just nothing's happening. Your attack is just not flowing. And then like a hook or a little just goes from dummy half. That's like the kind of thing that I'll be trying to hit up with the tips. This game should be awesome. So Storm and Sharks. So this game you got who is it? We've got Pappenhausen. Unfortunately, hurt himself again. He's out for about 6 weeks. And Hughes, sorry, Jerome Hughes. He twinged his calf apparently like 20 minutes into the game, heard a pop, played out the game because had a couple other injuries. Faolongo, the fucking gun rookie, has been named for now, but be wary that he's also was injured last game. He may not end up playing. There might be some movements in that. I know a few of the boys on the value punting channel and the community tips channel hit up Sharks plus 6.5, which I thought was an incredible bet. I just don't have the bankroll to to go huge on that stuff at the moment. But I thought that was a great bet, and now it's like plus 2.5 or whatever, I think. And I realistically think like I get that it's in Melbourne, and I get that Kami Kamika is on the extended bench and whatever. But the Sharks have a stacked pack. They miss Rudolph, but they get Royce Hunt back, who's been really strong in the last year or two. Hazelton is, oh my God. I'm going to very quickly chuck in a humble brag. That's not going to be so humble. But in my punters preview article, like early to mid last year, if you remember, I talked about this bench prop from the Sharks, Tom Hazelton, really like his running style. Since then, he scored almost as many tries as Adam Fanua-Blake. They've been the two. And I also tipped Adam Fanua-Blake at like 101s or whatever before he became a try scoring prop at the Warriors in like round 2 or something last year. So that's what I do. Like, I'm trying to find middle forwards before they become fucking Tom Hazelton and Adam Fanua-Blake as they are now, because now they're paying like fucking 25, 30 bucks for first try score, and there's no bloody point. The value's gone. I'm trying to find them when they're no namers and they're paying 51, 67, 81, whatever. And then even a couple of wins, like Mark Nichols. I won bet on him at like 101 in 2020 at the pub with my friends, I'm pretty sure. And obviously now everyone knows that he's like a great try scorer. So anyways, back to the point. So I think this game, Sharks have a stacked pack. They are missing Trindle. It will mean that Hines gets more time on ball. But what was I going to say? The Storm are missing Hughes and Pappenhausen, and maybe not even Fa'alongo is going to be playing, which for me means that the Sharks have the more stacked forward pack and a better overall backline, I would say. Whereas the Storm, it's like, can Munster and Grant win them the game? Like, pretty much that's how I take this game. So I reckon it's going to be pretty close to 50-50. Again, I don't think this game, I don't think Melbourne's got much or any rain. So this will be like one of the normal games for the weekend. King and Welsh, sort of in the early 70s, kind of stand out as like potential try scorer value. But the Sharks, oh my God, the Sharks scored with McInnes and Hazelton, I think 2 weeks ago. And last week they had Oregon Kafusi score the first try and Hazelton score the second try, and Talakai score a try in the middle. So that's like 5 middle forward tries for the Sharks I can remember in just the last 2 weeks. And the Storm are one of those teams where if Cammy doesn't play, they don't actually have the strongest middle forward, like the strongest pack. They've got Welsh, they've got Liero, Nas, Josh King. So like they're decent. I'm not saying they're bad. But yeah, watch out for the Sharks middle forwards. And in saying that, Oregon Kafusi scored the first try last week, and he's paying 67s for first try on BetRight 365. Toppy McInnes is paying 451. Sean Bloor is like the obvious one. How the hell is he paying 41 on 365? He's looked really good. I think he scored a try 2 or 3 rounds ago. And Munster will be getting more ball on the left than Hughes because he's not there. Whoever is playing on the right. Tyron Wishart or whoever else on the right. So watch out for that as well. Definitely like that price. Tommy Hazelton's paying 38s on Toppy, and he's paying 17 on Sportsbet. So I know which side I'd be using to get on Tommy Hazelton if you wanted to. So Roosters Warriors, this game is going to be super, super interesting, guys. So the reason I say that, it's Warrior Hargraves 300th, huge occasion. I assume it's at Allianz or whatever that stadium's called now. But yeah, it's in Sydney. Away game for the Warriors. The Warriors have lost 4 straight, I believe it is. And a couple of those games have been shockers. Lost to the Titans in New Zealand at their home ground on Anzac Day. Anyways, as you guys know, though, I don't try to read too much into this stuff when it comes to first try scorer plays. When you look at anytime try scorers, or if you're tipping who's going to win the game and line and stuff, I try to stay away from that. I don't try to be like, for example, Jacob from Tripod's done that for over a decade. He's a gun at reading the games and tipping lines over a long period of time. I try to stay away from that. I try to look at player running styles. Like with forwards, you can't go, oh, Hazelton scored 2 tries in 2 weeks. I'm going to bet him for first try scorer next week. That's not how this works. You got to think about who's running the ball hard, who's looking for the try line, what price are they on different bookies. That's the kind of way that I think. So I will tip a Bulldogs middle forward like Max King. If you give me like 126 or 151 to 1, I will tip that and I'll bet on that myself. That's the way that I think. Obviously, if all you want to do is bet on wingers every week, you're not going to love it. Anyways, Roosters Warriors. Afoa is paying 81s at the moment on BetRight. Definitely love that. He's been named to start at the moment. Tohu Harris is paying 71 on Toppy. Warrior Hargrave is paying 51s, which is a joke because, Lindsay Collins is paying 51s, and now that's decent. Anyways, a few different prices. Sunday is the day that's meant to like kind of ease off in terms of the rain. Again, anything could happen with the forecast, but I'm thinking it might be like a heavy track with not as much rain as previous days, so it might be more of a normal game. Adam Fanua-Blake is 41s on Better. If you're lucky enough to be able to get try scorer bets on Better, good luck to you. obviously it's a great price given how many tries he scored recent weeks. Interesting one. There's been chat around Radley. This was a quote I read somewhere on NRL Fantasy Scouts Insta, where I think Robbo, the Roosters coach, was saying that he prefers. This is super weird, but he starts Nat Butcher on the edge, plays Radley in the middle, and said something along the lines of like he actually prefers Radley on the edge or Nat Butcher in the middle. Please feel free to comment wherever if I've said that wrong or whatever. But when I heard that, I thought, oh, that's interesting. We actually hit Radley last try scorer at 71-1 in Vegas for the premium boys in round one. So I would definitely be looking out for that. If not this week, for future weeks. Anyways, so to recap real quick, a couple of prices that stand out, that sort of higher range on Bunty Afoa 81. And if you look a bit lower, there's like Fanua Blake and better 41s. Jackson Ford is insane at 41s on 365. So there's a few good prices. And with this stuff, all you want is just like the Warriors to be, they've lost 4 straight. They would be frustrated and they just go all in early and they score the first try. It's like a Jackson Ford at 41s. You're like, hell yeah, he's been a good try scorer in the last couple of years. One thing I'll say really quickly, Ford is an interesting one where I used to think and tip, ex-player like a Kurt Capewell, he's on Sean Johnson's right edge, he'll put him over. But then I keep watching the bloody Warriors and Johnson actually roams and he's put Ford over for at least, he's definitely put him over for 1 try. He's roamed to the left and then put his left back rower over for a try. And I think he's almost done it another time. So, definitely, I think sometimes it's about, my instinct goes, oh, but Sean Johnson's on the right. But then you got to think, who's the actual better hole runner? It's just like Hines. I've been watching the Sharks really closely the last 2 weeks. Hines has put, 2 weeks ago, Hines dummied and ran and scored a try towards the end of the game. But ULA was playing that left. He was running, ULA is a middle forward, Braden ULA from the Sharks. So he's running wide on the left side for the Sharks, and he's one of my OG try score boys. I loved him since he started his career, by the way. Anyways, so dummies and goes. And then I think the next week, I forgot which player now, but I'm pretty sure Hines did the same play on that left side. But you'd think, what the hell, he's a right side half. But it's because Hines, Sean Johnson, they're super ball dominant with guys like Daniel Atkinson, who's a rookie, and Tamara Martin, who is an experienced first grader, but he's just not Luke Metcalf, for example. But I'll get back on topic, guys. That Roosters Warriors game should be an absolute epic. I think the Roosters are definitely the better side. There was a stat where for the first time in 2.5 seasons or something ridiculous, that their first choice team is going to be playing together all at the same time. Absolutely insane. All right, I'll move on to the last game, Titans Cowboys. Actually, I'll say one last thing. So Terrell May scored 2 tries. If you play fantasy and SuperCoach, there was this whole thing of, did you trade him out? Did you hold him? Did you play him? Did you not? So that's one part of it. But obviously, for now, we're talking about punting, right? So this is the ridiculously unlucky run we've been on with the premium boys, right? So we had him tipped at third try scorer second half, and last try scorer, all at odds around 71, 81, 91, whatever, right? Dude comes on. I'm pretty sure he was on for the third try, right? He didn't score the third try. He scored 2 tries, right? In that period of the game. He scored 2 fucking tries, a middle forward, but it happened to not be any of those 3 tries that we had bet on. And you can imagine after a few shit weeks how absolutely frustrating that was. But obviously, Daniel Saifidi and Gamble got up, and we had an amazing Sunday. We move on. All right, last one, guys. Titans Cowboys. I think this is one of the other games that shouldn't be massively rain affected. It may be rain affected, but it won't be as bad as the games in Sydney. This should be an awesome game because the Titans have been playing better than most people would have expected. Whereas I think the Cowboys as well have lost 3 or 4 in a row, and their side on paper looks awesome. So it's hard to justify that. I just cannot believe Griffin Neame is paying 67 on 365. It's almost like they don't know who he is. So he went from the bench to starting a couple of weeks ago for pretty much the first time in his career, right? And he's done that on merit. And it's almost like they don't know who Griffin Neame is. Well, I'll show you who Griffin Neame is. Griffin Neame is the dude that's played 53 career games, almost all of them as a benchy. And obviously early on, he was a rookie and he didn't get much minutes, etc., right? but he's played 53 games. And in 3 of those, let's just say he started, say, 50 off the bench, which is pretty much correct. 3 of those, he scored the first try in the second half. Obviously, like, it's not going to go on forever, but that would mean that he should be priced at like 17s if you just go off that exact number, right? And now he's playing up against the Gold Coast Titans with Tino, as we know, and we're getting 67s for him to score the first and the last try, 2 separate bets on Bet365. Just insane price, absolutely insane. But anyways, I'll get onto this and obviously tip it in the article when I get to that. Aside from that, there's obviously, definitely a couple of good prices. Fini Fuyaki at 34s, great price as well. He looked really good. For anyone that watched that Cowboys game, I think it was on Saturday night or Sunday, whatever. I forgot if he scored, but he came really close 2 or 3 different times. Pretty sure it was Dearden that was working with him on that left edge. But yeah, Fini Fuyaki, again, for the first moment I saw him take a hit up or whenever, like his first game, I was like, him and Lukey both, when I saw them, I was like, holy shit, they are elite all runners. So anyways, if that Fini Fuyaki price holds at 34s, by the time I write the article tomorrow morning, I will 100% be putting that in. He looks really, really good. Anyways, I might leave it at that for now, guys. Oh, and like, it's just a joke why, oh, maybe I saw that wrong. No, I did say it wrong. But Ruben Cotter, I think he scored the first try last week or the week before. No, I think it was last week, and he's priced at 51s. Again, a really good price. Him and Cam McInnes, I see as quite similar, where I'm like hesitating to tip them at 51s, but they've like noticeably gotten better as ball runners in the last 12 months or so. I kind of reserve that 51 kind of price for like a Nichols or a Neem. Like, I'll tip those guys. And I thought Cotter and McInnes are like just a rung below for me. So I struggled to tip them at 51. But I'll have to see with Cotter because I might have to start tipping him. The way he ran the ball last week up against Titans, where like they've been really impressive. They've fought like they've been more competitive than you would have thought, essentially. But Cotter at 51s against the Titans, that may now, in this climate with bookie odds, it may just become tippable. It's marginal in terms of if it's amazing value, but I think it's definitely good enough to get on, is what I'll say. Anyways, guys, look, in terms of the punting stuff, that's pretty much it. So as always, Google Wiki link trade, the odds comparison tool that you see on your screen. Let me know what you think about this dark mode, by the way. We've just experimented with the colors. If it looks shit, let me know. If you like it, let me know. We can tweak it a little bit. But yeah, the odds comparison tool that you see, all things Wiki, it's all on our link tree, so please check it out. If you are only here for our punting stuff, by the way, that's it. I'll do the punters preview article and the edge v edge analysis article that I started doing last week, which is a huge hit. I'm going to do that tomorrow morning, guys. So I'm just exhausted. So I'll do that tomorrow morning. But yeah, if all you're here for is punting, you can head off because I'm going to very quickly talk about my fantasy and SuperCoach team just for maybe 2-3 minutes max. And then we will wrap it up. So my fantasy team, I love NRL Fantasy. I've been obsessed with it for almost like more than 10 years, but my team is just not very good. Like, I captained Hines, I had David Fafita, I had Terrell May, who scored 2 tries, and I still just stunk it up last week. I'm like consistently around that 40K mark. A little bit depressing. I did say to you guys last week in either this pod or the pod with Aman that I did for SuperCoach, is don't stress too much about your rank. Your rank is your rank. Like, you can make a couple of trades and you can kind of put your team in a good position for the buy rounds. But if you're not making huge improvements, I wouldn't stress too much. And I'm not. I'm just trying to get to the buys with like the origin period with a team that I'm relatively happy with, and just hoping to make big moves in the buy period, because that's when a lot of the head-to-head guys like don't really do their teams properly, etc., etc. So, anyways, so for this round, I've got Strange for Faolongo as my only trade, and then again, Faolongo could be ruled out because of his injury, and then I'll have to tweak that. But I'm just taking the approach of it's pissing down in most of the games. There's going to most likely not be like big outside back or half scores where they go nuts and score 2 or 3 tries to get a bunch of assists and stuff like that. It's going to be a pretty dour round. So I'm kind of like happy to play it safe in terms of like, just, I've got some real, like, oh my God, I've got 3 bench middles in my starting middle forwards for my NRL fantasy team. Like, that's how much of a joke my team is at the moment, but I'm just happy to cop it. Like, it's okay. I'm going to put the captaincy on David Fifita up against the Cowboys in a game that either won't be rain affected at all or not massively rain affected. The Cowboys have been pretty crap in defense, and David Fifita has been in beast mode. So happy to take the risk on him instead of Hines playing up against the Storm in Melbourne, which I think even if the Sharks do win, plays well, I just don't see like a massive ceiling for him this weekend. So I'm happy to take a bit of a risk. Super coach wise, surprisingly, I'm doing better in super coach than fantasy. I'm 30K, I'm 29K rank. I brought in Connor Watson because Uppy was out last week, and I was like, Uppy's out this week. He's playing busted, might play Origin. I just want to get rid of him. So I've got Watson, which I'm super happy with. And I've done a bit of a pod trade with Eisenhuth, Tom Eisenhuth. Most of you probably don't even know who the hell he is, but I brought him in for Joe Chan because Chan is going to be like an AE nightmare. Reason I've got Eisenhuth, he got like 70 odd tackles in the wet last week, I think, or 60 odd. And in the last 3 weeks, there was a game that the Sully Anzac Day game, Sully got knocked out, and Tom Eisenhuth went to the centers straight up and obviously got shit stats the whole game because of that. But outside of that, Flano's been giving Eisenhuth really good minutes, and he's done really well for them. And I think if you could kind of lock that role in, he could actually be like a really good, consistent player. Obviously, I'm a little bit biased by this weekend, the wet, etc. He'll rack up a huge score with those big minutes in the middle of the field this week, and he'll go up in cash. And I know you shouldn't make short-term trades, and I don't want it to be a short-term trade. I want him to become like a 60-minute middle, and I think what is he priced at just over 50, averaging 55. I think like a 65 to 70 average is possible. And then if he's playing a good role and that the minutes and the role stick, then he could be like a great pod sort of medium-term option. And he's priced at 516, and he's a center wing player. So in a week or two, when I want to piss off like an Iro or a Schiller or a Tungo, whoever, I just move Eisenhuth there, lock in like a safe center wing player, and then I can kind of like go for some upside in second row potentially. But yeah, that is what I'm doing with my super coach team. Oh, and I'm bringing in Brimson from the Gold Coast. So I'm a bit annoyed about this. I didn't fully click that he was playing at fullback and the Titans were actually playing decently. It's a bit stupid because I watch every game obsessively, but I saw him closely last week and he looks bloody good. So I really do hope that he sticks to the fullback spot and doesn't move to the halves, because they've got Chris Randall, their hooker, playing the halves, which is a bit awkward. But if he does stick to fullback, even if it's only for a couple of weeks, and then he moves to 5-bet, I don't see him going back to center with how well he's playing, by the way. I think he'd be a really good pod play. The Titans may not win many games, but you know that they'll be decent in attack. So super happy with these two pod picks. But as I said, like, I'm ranked 30K. I really did need to piss off Chan because I don't want that AE nightmare, and I wanted to piss off Hutchison before he plays the Panthers in the wet. So I may backtrack on that Eisenhuth move, and like I could do something else with that second row trade, but I've already got David Fifita in this team as well, and I'm captaining him with the VC on Garrick. Garrick plays a dry or relatively dry game on Thursday night against the Dolphins. So I'm going him as VC, going to Fifita as captain. Fifita, I think, could go absolutely bonkers. He's averaging 84. He's been off the bench for a couple of games. He's been coming back from injury, and he's still averaging for 84. To put that into context, Cleary's averaging 70. Nico Hines, who's had a couple of really good scores, is only averaging 91. So everyone's so high on Hines, and he's averaging 91. And everyone like hasn't really respected Fifita enough, I think. And he's averaging 84. I don't think in a normal week I would captain someone else over Hines in his current ball dominant form with no Trindle on the left and a rookie playing there. But playing in Melbourne against the Storm, which I think will be like the Storm missing Hughes and Pappenhausen, I think they'll try to make it like a tighter game. And it's not, I don't think Hines is going to go huge in Supercoach, where I think Fifita actually could on a flat track against the Cowboys. So that's my reasoning. Anyways, guys, that wraps it up. I hope you've enjoyed my the pod this week. I thought I'd actually be like exhausted, so I didn't think, like, I just didn't know how long I'd go for and stuff. So I've actually ended up going for about 40 minutes, which I'm surprised by. So as always, guys, what I try to do with this is go through, wrap up the week that was. Obviously, for once, finally, after a few weeks, we had a good week with our tips last weekend, which is awesome. and then I get into the tips for this coming week. So I've done that. There's a bunch of resources for fantasy and SuperCoach and other people in terms of tips and stuff on our Discord community. I've covered off all of that. It's all free to check out. Google Wiki Linktree. Ended up with a little bit of fantasy and SuperCoach. That'll be it. Enjoy your weekends, guys. Stay safe. If you're in Sydney, it's going to be belting down. Fingers crossed for a shitload of rain, a shitload of middle forward tries. And I hope this is the bumper weekend that we've been waiting for. I think we had round 10, 14, 21, and 27. And I think I'm missing one. I think we had 4 or 5 rounds where we had like 4 or 5 or maybe 6 huge, like 34, 41, 81, 101, like big odds winners all in the same week. And obviously, like you can't predict that stuff, but in my mind, I'm thinking more rain, more chance of middle forward tries, and more chances of us winning big this weekend. So punt responsibly as always. Enjoy your fantasy and SuperCoach. Good luck with your teams. Enjoy the footy this weekend, and I will catch you. If we have a good round, I'll have to wear this every week. So anyways, guys, enjoy yourself. Thank you.